Hello, and welcome to episode 1 of the Beyond the Ears podcast, a podcast about all things in the world of Disney. I am Josh, and I am joined by my co host, Ashley. Ashley, say hello.
Hello, everyone. So, today for this first episode, we're really just going to talk about our love for Disney and how that kind of all started, and then what we're looking to get out of this podcast, and just kind of the why behind we're doing it. So, I'm just going to start off talking about my own personal experiences with Disney. So, I grew up watching a lot of movies like I think most people. But I didn't really fall in love with Disney until my first trip to Walt Disney World in Orlando. I believe it was in 2011, so a little over a decade ago, which is crazy to think about. My family and I went for a few times, and then I eventually went with just my sister and a couple of friends. And then after 5 years of dating, I finally dragged Josh along with me. He was very reluctant to go. I think he thought it was kind of a girly thing and it was kind of lame. But it ended up where he fell in love with Disney when we went to Walt Disney World. So my love really started back in 2011 at that first trip. But it's really, really grown, I would say, after Josh and I went to Walt Disney World when, I guess it would be 3.5 years ago now, almost 4 years ago. That's really when things started to take off as far as my love and my passion. I love the parks. That's kind of more my area of expertise. Josh is going to talk a lot more about the Marvel Universe. That's kind of his area. But kind of going back to my love, when we had Grayson, and now that he's 2.5 and he's old enough to watch the movies, I would say my love has just kind of grown through him falling in love with the animation and the storytelling and just the whole magic behind Disney and that history there. Obviously, talking about Disney is huge. It covers so many areas, the Marvel universe, the Star Wars universe, all of the animated films and movies, all of the shows on Disney Plus. There are so many things to talk about, which we'll get back into in a minute. Josh can kind of take it over from here and explain it when he fell in love with Disney.
All right, so definitely in 2018, on our first trip, is when I really jumped in the water of I'm a Disney adult, I guess I should say, but not as bad as Ashley. I'm more of the, like she said, I'm more of the Marvel, Star Wars. I enjoy like the Disney stuff, but I'm more that's more kind of my thing. But I do love pretty much everything Disney and Disney has to offer. But the trip in 2018 was hands down like, all right, I'm in this 100%. Let's freaking go Disney. Let's make a trip every year to Disney World.
Yes.
Which is not cheap. So we haven't made it back since because it's not cheap.
Yeah.
But we will make it back eventually.
Mm-hmm.
But my whole goal for the podcast is to not only help with like trying to map out like kind of where things are in the Disney World aspect of like the Marvel and the Star Wars, because that's more my thing with the movies and stuff. So it's going to be like an interesting podcast. It's kind of like a Disney Plus podcast, I should say.
Mm-hmm.
So it'll be interesting and it'll be fun. So that's kind of where I got my love for Disney. And yeah, so we're just going to kind of bounce back and forth and talk about what we plan to do with the podcast and going forward, episodes you can expect. And so, yeah, Ashley, do you want to?
Yeah. So I think a lot of the reason behind why we really wanted to do this podcast as a couple is because when you have a young child and you are both working full time, especially, you may live together, but you don't get to spend a lot of quality time together unless you make a point to do that. So although Josh and I live together, we're raising a child together, we do work full time and we do stay really busy. So we don't get to sit down and spend quality time having conversations, and just, being friends, which is like the foundation of any good relationship. So I'm excited to dedicate time every week, hopefully, to spending time together and to connect and reconnect and, build that bond that we already have, of course. But I think that it's really important for a relationship to make that quality time a priority. And now that Grayson is 2.5, we kind of feel like we're not in the whirlwind so much with a newborn, or even, an infant or young toddler. I feel like we're kind of calming down, getting used to parenting. So really just spending that time together and connecting. And also, like Josh mentioned, going to Disney is very, very expensive. So unfortunately, we don't see it in our near future of making it to the parks. So I think being able to talk about that just brings a little bit of magic into our everyday life.
It scratches the itch.
Yes, it does. Listening to podcasts talking about Disney helps, but really being able to talk about our own experiences, our own thoughts, our own opinions, all of the Disney news. I think that's going to help kind of bring the magic to life with us, and I think it's going to really help build our relationship even stronger. So I'm excited for that. What else do you have? What else do you want from this podcast?
Echoing what she said, it's we're here together and everything with the baby, but we're here together, but we're not here together because at the end of the night, we put the baby down to bed and then we both kind of just plop on the couch at, 8 o'clock after he goes to sleep and we're winding down. So we're either just trying to relax and eat dinner or trying to relax and then clean up. It's just, it's nonstop. So like the time we have together, it's great with Grayson. And then like our alone time is kind of like a very like, she gets her time to herself to do her thing. I do my thing. And like we're obviously love each other, but it's almost like we're passing by each other. And you feel like a little disconnect sometimes just because it's like you just want to be so focused on like just trying to get downtime for yourself. So it's not like we hate each other. It's just the difference of like, wow, we have a child and it eats up, all of our time with him and all our quality time with him. And then you just want a little bit of alone time, but you miss out on all the relationship stuff of almost like a heart-to-heart talk. But it'll be, a Disney heart-to-heart talk.
Yeah.
So this whole time. So it'll be fun. And Ashley, she loves, everything Disney, obviously, but she also loves, Marvel stuff and Star Wars stuff as well. And she's been slacking as well because she hasn't watched any of the Marvel Disney Plus shows really, other than WandaVision, which she loved.
Oh, yeah.
But I told her, I was like, with this, you're going to have to watch all the stuff that comes out now because we're going to be a podcast about Disney, so we have to stay in touch with all the Disney stuff. So that includes, pretty much everything that pops on Disney Plus. Mm-hmm. That's let's see, the tabs are like the Disney tab, the Marvel tab, the Pixar tab, the Star Wars tab, and then the National Geographic tab. So at least our TV time will be filled with new content pretty much constantly and old content. So it'll be fun just to go back and rewatch stuff and talk about animation and just different things like that. Movies that shaped our childhood. It's, we'll get to peel back a couple layers of the onion of what we liked as a child and whatnot. So it'll be fun to talk about.
Yeah. I think Disney is so all-encompassing There are unlimited possibilities with a Disney podcast. And like Josh was talking about, I mean, it's Star Wars, it's Marvel, it's National Geographic, it's Pixar, it's the Disney parks. I mean, Disney is opening new attractions at their parks all of the time. We've got a lot of new things happening every single year, every single month, every single week, honestly, at this point, with the parks. And so that gives us just unlimited content to talk about. And it's just really going to help us connect with that mutual love for Disney, just finding joy in that. So I'm really excited. We have a lot of great ideas for this podcast so far, but I'm sure along the way, we'll have some twists and turns in there and kind of find ourselves along the way, I'm hoping. We'll see.
The goal of this podcast is to one day quit our jobs. So
quit my job.
Yeah, quit her job. I love my job, but quit her job for sure. So eventually, if we get if we get enough viewers and Patreons, we might start like a Patreon page or something like that where we can give you guys more content.
Oh my God.
And that would be a way to do something just for Ashley, because like she said, she's ready for a new job.
Yeah. Josh handles the workload a lot better than I do. Just a little backstory on us. So Josh is a safety manager and a machinist. It's kind of top secret right now, so we'll leave it at that. But can we talk about it?
We can talk about it a little bit. Now we have a website.
Okay, we can talk about it. Okay, go ahead.
Okay. So the short answer is actually make bolts and like nuts and washers for high performance vehicles. The longer answer is that we're a machine shop that we build engine blocks, engine heads, pretty much anything you can put in an engine, we will eventually be building. And these are for, just the everyday people, but these are for NHRA Top Fuel drag racers, which we're already working with multiple teams. One of the people I can talk about was once a NASCAR driver. If that gives you any hints of who that is. So I've actually got to meet him and just a bunch of cool different things like that. There's a lot of opportunities. We're actually working with a Formula One team right now, so it's awesome and it's super exciting, and the company is growing. We're already expanding our building, and I was one of the ground level guys, one of the first people there. So it's crazy to see what's 3 years has already done for the company, and one day it's gonna be, it's already a big deal, but hopefully we'll take the automotive industry by storm and really give it all we got. So that's kind of just my background on what my job is, but I love my job. I enjoy going to work, as much as everyone does, but it's actually fun. Like once you get there, I always have my days where I'm like, oh man, going to work today is going to suck because I'm tired or I'm wore out, or we had a rough night with Grayson because he was up or something. But 9 times out of 10, I'm super excited to go to work every day, and that's a good thing because you have to have a job that you love and you want to go to work with, which brings us to Ashley, where she doesn't want to do that.
Yeah, so a couple of things just to add on about Josh's job. I think he was kind of headhunted, right? Like, we've always known your boss.
Yeah.
But they knew that they wanted to recruit Josh before they even started construction on the shop, which was really exciting. And we're just very thankful and grateful and excited about this opportunity. And I think that it is going to grow into something huge, and we can't really say enough good things about it. He's got a great team, great boss, and a great work schedule. So he is fortunate enough to work Monday through Friday, 8 to 4:30, which is fantastic. And then, of course, major holidays you have off.
Yeah, pretty much a week off for Christmas and New Year's. So.
Yeah. So that is really, really awesome. I'm definitely jealous. So I work in retail as an assistant manager at TJ Maxx. I have worked with the company for a little over 8 years. So a few months after Josh and I started dating, I got the job part-time, but quickly moved my way up to management. I work 45 hours a week, which may not seem like a lot to some people, but it certainly feels like a lot to me as a mom and as somebody who tries to do a lot of different things. So, and it's not necessarily just the hours, it's the scheduling. I don't get a lot of weekends off. I only get one weekend off a month to spend with my family. I don't get major holidays off. I work a night every single week at least. Just, every day is different. And one day I might go in at 5:45. The next day I might go in at 11:45 or 7:45 or something like that. So every day is different. And it's just kind of exhausting. I'm very burnt out, to say the least. But we're banking on Josh's job being really great for us, but right now we do rely on both of our incomes. So anyway, long story short, not a huge fan of my job, but it could be worse. I do work with a lot of great people. We are like a family at my work. I do get joy getting to speak to my associates and my coworkers, and sometimes even our customers. We do have a lot of regular customers who I enjoy speaking with. But anyway, that's a little bit about us and our backstory. But to kind of wrap it up, we are very excited about this podcast. We'll see just where it goes. Lots of possibilities.
Yeah, for sure. Each week we're going to shoot for at least a new podcast every Monday. So you'll wake up Monday morning, on your drive into work, or whatever you do, your workouts, you'll have our podcast to listen to if you love this kind of stuff. So, I think our goal is to build this podcast into something that everyone will enjoy. And like I said, if people really like us, we can do something more, give you more options, maybe even beyond Disney stuff eventually, so... And you'll get a little bit of that here and there, but because we love a lot of different things, like the Jurassic movies that are getting ready to come out. Just classic movies like that, The Office, and TV shows like that. That's stuff that we love, but we would love to talk about that stuff more in detail. But for now, we will just be talking strictly about Disney stuff, which is just plenty, because there is a ton of Disney stuff to talk about all the time. So, anyway, to wrap up the episode, is there anything else you want to say?
I guess we can just give them a small preview about our first actual episode and what that is going to encompass. Mm-hmm. Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness just came out. So we are planning on doing our first true episode on that.
Tomorrow. Yeah.
We're going to try.
We're definitely
going to try. We both work tomorrow.
Yeah, so that's kind of the goal. We wanted to do the intro podcast tonight because we're both pretty wore out from a weird day today. Just in general, it's just a very awkward, weird day. So we're both kind of just draggy, and it's a full moon, so we'll blame that. And so tomorrow evening, we will try to shoot for our Multiverse of Madness spoiler cast. Yep. So check it out. It would be uploaded on Tuesday. So if you are interested in that, we will post. So anyway, I think that's everything. Unless you want to talk about something else.
No, that's it. Just thank you all if you're still with us. Excuse me, I'm kind of sick right now. We hope that you enjoyed the show and continue to listen moving forward.
Yeah, and we will catch you guys in our next episode. See you later.